Think we're live. All right. What's up to the Movie Tweaker podcast, episode 5? I got Daniel with me. How's it going, Daniel?
It's going good.
All right. Yeah, we didn't do one last week, did we? Or did we?
Yeah. No, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't do one. Okay, so we didn't do one last week, and we didn't do one last night. We moved it to tonight. I know this may not be the best time to do a podcast because the Super Bowl's going on, but I'm not into the Super Bowl. What about you, Daniel?
No, just for commercials.
Yeah, I like the commercials, and I like whoever usually sings in the middle of it. But tonight it's Beyonce. I like Coldplay, but I'm not a big fan of Beyonce, but what she looks like. And who else is singing? Beyonce. Lady Gaga did the national anthem.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think there's one more person singing, and I can't remember who it is, but it's Coldplay and Beyonce, and Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Bruno Mars. Not saying that he's a bad singer or anything, but he's just, I don't know. I listen to some of that music now because the new music of rock kind of sucks. So I try to listen to a bunch of different things. Give stuff a shot. I like all music except country. I'm not the biggest country person. But I give everything a shot usually. Tonight, big thing I heard on the Super Bowl, which I might have missed it because I didn't get to see so much of the Super Bowl yet because I had to do some stuff. But I guess they were going to buy a lot of slots for Deadpool. I heard. Did you hear that? Did you see any Deadpool commercials so far?
One so far.
Okay, one so far. Supposedly last night I saw something where they said they were going to buy a lot of slots for the Super Bowl, and there's going to be big advertisement behind Deadpool. So expect to most likely see a lot of Deadpool, advertisements before this movie drops, which is this upcoming Friday, right? Or Thursday?
Yes.
When does it land?
Friday, February 12th.
February 12th. Okay. So basically, we are going to get into a Deadpool discussion because there has been a lot of reviews that have came out early for Deadpool. Like there's people that have already seen an early screening of it. And basically to me, what I'm seeing, I don't know about you, Daniel, but I'm seeing I sort of like Chris Stuckman. He gave it like the best. He said he gave it the best review he could. He said not many movies he gives that review. I think one last year got the highest score from him. Only one movie, I think, last year. And he said this movie got the highest score, which I don't know what he calls his high score, but it got the highest score he could give. But other than that, I'm seeing average reviews and below average. Basically what most people are saying, if you are a Deadpool fan, you will most likely like this movie. Other than that, the movie itself has a lot of one-liners, and that is expected with Deadpool, I hear, but a lot of one-liners that, if movies constantly cracking jokes the whole movie, they're not all going to be good, and they say a majority of them are basically, some people felt that some of the jokes that they made are just copying other movies. I watched a shitload of reviews on that thing last night. I'm interested in Deadpool. I've never really known about the character. I like superhero stuff, but in my opinion, that's what's going to hurt Deadpool. It's not a lot of people know about Deadpool. That's the thing. He's not like a Batman or a Superman or a Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing that's going to hurt Deadpool. Deadpool's not as he's a cult following. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some reviews that I've seen that basically, like I said, they said if you are a fan of this, this character and series, you'll most likely love it. But on the other side of that, they said it's an average movie. And I think what they're getting at is there's so many superhero movies saturating the movie industry right now. This is nothing new. It's nothing new. The only thing in this movie, the guy swears and it's rated R, and there's a lot of sex and violence, but is that really new? To a superhero movie, we don't see too many like that, but is it really new to movies? You know what I'm saying? In other words, they're saying this ain't nothing you haven't seen. They do say the first 20 minutes of this movie, I've heard some people say this. Most people all agree on this in the reviews. The first 20 minutes is action-packed, but then some people say after the 20 minutes, the movie starts at a high score and then ends at a low score. They said they should have follow, like maybe save that for the end to leave on a high score. You know, have you seen that in movies where they start out great and then throughout the movie it kind of dwindles? You know, have you seen any reviews for Deadpool yet?
No, I tend to stay away from the reviews.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was curious with this movie, and you know, that's somebody's opinion, but the best thing I do it with video games too. I take a bunch of reviews from a bunch of people and I mix it all into one and I get something out of that review. And that, if it's something I'm on the fence about, that will give me my answer if I want to go to the movies and see it, or if I want to wait for, you know, computer near you or whatever, you know. That's the best way I can do it with a movie I'm not sure about. But I think some people are being a little too harsh on this. Like the one lady I watched a review from last night. Let me grab her name right here. She does like trailer reviews and movie reviews. It's called Beyond the Trailer. And basically I heard she had a kind of like a petition going on where she wanted them to make a PG-13 Deadpool also. Make a rated R one, PG-13 for the kids. And she didn't get her way. And I guess her petition, you know, gained some traction, but it didn't get what she wanted. So she could be just shitting in this movie. She could be just shitting all over it. That could be what it is. But I've seen other people say the same things she did. You know, so I don't think, you know, they're upset that the movie didn't get a PG-13 thing. But the main purpose, I'm gonna let you talk. I know I'm talking a lot, but I wanted to get this all out. The main thing I'm getting with this, last night I watched IGN's review also. IGN scored it a 7.4, but when you go look in that comment section, you have everybody going on about Call of Duty. Oh, but you give Call of Duty a 9 point whatever. You know, they're like, but you can't give Deadpool a higher score, and they're picking what IGN said apart and everything. Just because you're a fan of something does not mean everybody should see it the way you do. Not saying you, Daniel. I'm just saying this to the people watching the video. You know, you can't just go. I see this all the time with game reviews. If the game review don't get a high score, they tear that reviewer apart just because it's their favorite franchise, their favorite whatever. And the first thing I notice they always bring up is Call of Duty. But one thing I will give Call of Duty, you got a ton of fucking people streaming it. You got a fucking ton of people playing it, and it's sold a shitload. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is one of the top selling games on the PS4 and the Xbox One, and most likely the PS3. Well, I wouldn't say PS3, but I probably did good on PS3 even without the single player. I never checked those, you know, numbers on that, but I know for next gen on the PS4 it's doing very well. And for a game to do that well and so many people streaming it and all that, the game must be good about something. It must have done something right, you know. That's the way I look at it. You can hate Call of Duty all you want. You know, I'm even a person that said I wouldn't buy, you know, I wouldn't buy Black Ops 3. You know, I sat there in videos said I'm not getting it. What happens? I get it all the time. You know, it always happens. As much as you want to resist it, you get it. And you ain't buying it because it's dog shit. Yeah, you get tired of it and call it dog shit, but the game actually, you know, is one of those franchises still that you can get on there and play with your friends and have a good time. The end, you know, it still does what it does. But basically, I just noticed that when people don't get their, you know, way with stuff, or people don't see things like they want to go to the video and see it get high reviews just because they love that character, Deadpool, or just any franchise, any superhero. If people don't see it your way, you know, the tough shit at the end of the day. Not saying I'm saying Deadpool is going to be a bad movie or anything. I hope it's great. I hope these fuckers are wrong. I'm not saying I'm against Deadpool or anything. I hope people don't take it like that. But you'll see some people that will take it that way, that just want to hear what they want to hear. But I'm just saying, just because somebody don't see something you want to be great doesn't mean, you know, it has to be great, you know, just because you want it to be. They're seeing it for what it is, you know. But what's your thoughts on that, Daniel? Have you seen reviews where people just are bitching in the comment section just because their movie or game didn't get a high score?
Well, for Deadpool wise, right?
Well, anyway, anything you ever, like, anytime you ever saw a review and you've seen people bitching that maybe that reviewer gave it a low score, have you seen in the comment section people going, oh, you give this a high score but not this? Have you seen that before?
Yeah, many times. Especially I don't trust really IGN sometimes because they end up lowering scores a lot.
Mhm.
Like they do different scores all the time for IGN. That's why I just never trust. There's a lot of reviewers out there, obviously, but you could be like a big fan of I don't know, like Marvel fanboys and DC fanboys. It's almost like if a movie is not that great, but they stand by it because they're big fanboys of the movie. But it's not good, but yet they're saying it's great. It's great. That happens a lot. Like it doesn't like you want an A+, it got like a B+. You're thinking it deserves an A+. It happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I see that. I've been seeing that a lot. And for Deadpool wise, from what I've been seeing of the comments of the reviews, I know that Chris Stuckman gave it an A+. That's all I know. And then most pages I follow on Facebook are like comic book related stuff, and they do say that it's amazing, it's funny. I mean, it's going to be the regular old thing, he's going to probably kill the villain at the end sort of thing. It's the same sort of thing that happens all the time. But it's just different because I remember Ryan Reynolds has been wanting to make this for 11 years, and it's a big thing. This was never going to happen if the footage didn't leak a few years ago. So that's just sort of the big thing there. But I don't know. I never knew that they had mixed reviews. I haven't been searching everywhere, so that's different.
Well, I watch a lot of reviews, man, and there's a ton out right now. I'm surprised how many there are out right now for Deadpool. I guess a lot of people seen it early. And I know you said the thing about IGN, IGN you don't trust and all that, but IGN, I seen IGN score 7.4 and people giving it that's average. 7, 8, I think an 8's like great, and 7.4 is like kind of like average. I seen other people giving it that score, so I have to say maybe IGN is, on the same level of a lot of other people. They're not just picking their own review score. They're actually seeing things seeing things the way other people are seeing it right now. I say IGN, do I believe IGN is bought off a lot of time? Yeah, but why would they be bought off on Deadpool? Deadpool is a comic book. You would think they would be normally praising something like that, because I know a lot of people love Deadpool here on YouTube, but it could actually be an average movie, it could be that. Now I heard a problem with the movie too is the budget isn't the greatest in the movie. I heard the side villains like what's his name? Like that's what's that guy that's real shiny?
Colossus.
Colossus. They say those villains. A lot of the reviews I've heard from it, those villains are very meh, like very very boring. Like they're not. It's not that they're bad looking or anything. It's just like they don't bring much to the table. Like the whole what they bring to the movie. And I want to give a shout out also to Rapid Retro, good streamer. Guys, check him out. He does some Call of Duty streams, really good streamer. Tigerman666, Sinclair on air. Shout out to you, buddy. And I do agree, too many instances like that. That's the problem with ratings and critics. Yep. And I think that's it right now. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Sinclair on air says Deadpool is 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So regardless of what haters say, that says a lot on Rotten, doesn't give unearned ratings. Yes, but a lot of the reviews I watched also was just guys like me, like people with not a lot of subs too. Like people I have followed that love comic books. That were saying it was an average score. I know Rotten Tomatoes is giving us a high score, and I think it. To be honest, it does look like this movie will cater to Deadpool fans, and it is the movie they wanted. I'm not saying by any means this is a bad movie. I'm just saying, from a person that isn't the biggest, like people that probably aren't big into superhero movies and don't just see it for Deadpool or whatever, just looking at it as an average movie from what else is out on the market right now, because we are saturated with superhero movies. You got fucking superhero TV shows, superhero movies. At the end of this year, it's going to be superhero movies out the yin-yang, especially summertime. They're going to just be all over the place. It's like they're giving you like so much of it till you're just going to get sick and throw up. Like they're going to do that. They do it with everything. Like when haunted houses got popular, like haunted house movies, like they kept giving you like Paranormal Activity, this, that, just a whole bunch of it. Same thing with found footage. How many found footage movies they had? I really hope they don't really kill the whole superhero thing where they get people so tired of looking at superhero movies they don't want to see it no more. I hope that don't happen. The one thing I will say that's smart about Deadpool, it's at a time where there ain't no other superhero movies out. So that's probably another reason I'll do good. You know, I'm hoping it does good. I want it to do good, but I was looking at a lot of the reviews on YouTube. I'm going by YouTube, what people are saying, not like a little article that they're writing. I'm just going by actual people's opinions, like me and Daniel, like people with not a lot of subscribers. And I looked at some of the bigger channels, you know, too, that had them, like Chris Stuckman, Beyond the Trailers, IGN. Those are like the three bigger ones I looked at, and all the other ones were small channels. And I seen more, average and below average than, high score. Now, Chris Stuckman, he's a big superhero guy. You know, he likes superheroes, So it is what it is. But I just wanted, the whole argument I got with the whole thing was when I saw IGN's comment section and people basically sitting in there and bringing up Call of Duty and bringing out whatever they gave other review scores, they weren't happy because Deadpool didn't get a high score. I get tired of seeing that shit. I get tired of it because if Deadpool got a high score, they'd be sucking IGN's dick in that comment section in a fucking heartbeat. And you all know it. Any more on this subject you want to talk about, Daniel? Are you seeing Deadpool day one or what's going on?
Yeah. I already bought my 2 tickets for Thursday IMAX, so I'm ready for it. And I'm not my friend who I'm taking. He's like a big Deadpool fan. He has the Deadpool cap, belt, shorts, T-shirt. He's a big Deadpool fan. He loves it. He even has the Deadpool costume and everything. But when the first trailer came out for Deadpool, I wasn't a big fan of it. The first trailer a few months ago, it broke the internet. Everyone is saying it's going to be amazing. And for me, it wasn't my number one. Like, it's not my number one superhero anticipated movie of the year. Mm-hmm. But definitely the second trailer that came out a few weeks ago, it definitely pumped me up a little bit more. I'm ready for it. I don't think it's going to be a fantastic movie, but, it'll have its problems. I can tell it may have a few slow scenes just from some of the trailer stuff I've seen out of it. But it's definitely different. The way that and definitely the advertisement for it, like the way they're advertising it is fantastic. It's probably the best advertising I've seen out of a superhero movie. How they make it look like a romantic comedy and all that stuff. I mean, it's really amazing. But I don't know. I'm hoping it's going to be great. I plan on actually seeing it 3 times this weekend with different people. So I'm hoping it's worth watching.
Okay.
Yeah. And I did hear about the budget being low as well. I heard about that. So I guess all the money's going towards the advertisements.
Well, that's what they said. Like somebody said, I think it was Beyond the Trailer. She said she was talking with her friend, and as much advertisements they're doing, and when they saw the movie, the low budget, their friend said, why didn't they put that into like some of that advertisement into the movie? Because to get Super Bowl spots, that shit's expensive, Yeah. But the one good thing too, they're promoting it, and that movie needs promotion because not a lot of people outside of the cult audience knows who Deadpool is. I've heard of Deadpool, but I really don't know. I hear a whole bunch of things. What I really know about Deadpool, you want to know what I know of Deadpool? What I saw in the X-Men movie. That's what I know of Deadpool. Yeah. That's my outlook of Deadpool. He has like a what's the damn guy's name with the eyes? Like he had his powers from X-Men. All different X-Men powers. That's what I got out of it, and that was, I guess, a bad impression. People said that was the worst thing Ryan Reynolds could have done.
Yeah.
But yeah, Deadpool will be out. What's the day it's coming out?
February 12th.
February 12th. I hope the movie does well. I want a Deadpool too. I'm just bringing my conversation to the table. What I see. I'm not a hater on Deadpool or anything. I actually might love the movie and be the biggest Deadpool fan after I see the movie. Who knows? I'm a Batman fan. I like DC. It is what it is. But I do like Marvel too. All right, next thing I want to talk about. I guess they're making another Jason Bourne. Did you see the trailer by any chance?
No, I know it just released the Super Bowl TV spot of it. I haven't seen it yet.
Have you ever seen any of the Bourne Identity movies?
Yeah, a long time ago. The most recent one was the one that didn't have Jason Bourne in it, the Bourne Legacy.
Yeah, that was with Edward Norton, I believe.
Jeremy Renner.
Jared, but I think Edward Norton was in the movie, right?
Okay, yeah, I think he
Yeah, I
is.
think he was. He played a part in it, but I can't remember who the main star. Well, you just said the main star.
Right.
I like the Bourne Identity for what it was, but I don't think they need to bring that back. I really don't. That's just my opinion. I'm like I don't know. I'm like half and half with Matt Damon. I loved his new movie with the space, The Martian. I thought that was a great movie. I love Rounders. Rounders was an excellent movie with Edward Norton. He was actually with Edward Norton in that movie. I think the guy can be a fantastic. I liked him in The Departed. But there is sometimes I don't really care for Matt Damon, but I like more of his movies and dislike his movies. But to me, he's not a bad actor. I like him. He's not my favorite. He's not my least favorite, but he's like right in the middle, But there is a Jason. They're making another Born Identity or Jason Bourne movie from the Born Identity or whatever that series is called. Right. They showed it on the Super Bowl. The trailer. What do you think of it? What's your opinion on it?
Again, I haven't seen it.
You didn't get this? I thought you said you got to see it on the Super Bowl.
I plan on reacting to it, but all I know is that it's called Jason Bourne, which I think that's pretty cool.
From the Bourne Identity, that's what it's called. It looks cool. I think it does seem interesting that he's back and he's fighting. It looks like he's fighting in like a little, I don't know, they're having like a Fight Club type thing he's fighting in, and they showed the clip of that. It seems cool. He's basically like the special military weapon they made. That's he can fight badass. He's real smart. He went through intense training, and he's, out doing missions, and then he loses it, and goes off the radar, and they have to track him. That's how the old ones were about. It's not a bad movie, but I think they did enough of them. They really no need for another one. But what they showed on the Super Bowl little trailer, it looked good. I will see it on Blu-ray or DVD. That's good for me. It's not one I'm running to the theater for. I seen the last one in the theater. I thought that was pretty good, but back in the day, I'm just not. It was enough. It was enough for me. But so far, if I had to, if I had to rate what they did with the trailer, I would give the trailer about, an 8. It was good, But other than that, anything else on Jason Bourne?
No.
Oh, and Julia Stiles, I believe she is in it. She's making a return in it too. So that's cool. And Chris Cooper's going to be in it. So yeah, it'll be a good cast. Clive Owen's in it. I guess he's going to play the professor. So there's going to be a good cast. I think it will be like the rest of them. If you're a fan of the the Bourne series, you'll probably like it. So other than that, any new trailers you've seen lately? Did you see the new Cloverfield thing that they showed on the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I reacted to that. It looked good. It honestly did. It finally showed her outside the house or outside the bunker, before and after.
And the name was pretty. The correct name of it is the correct name.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane. I just want to put that out there. But go on with what you're saying, buddy.
Oh, I was just saying that it was just interesting to see before and after, because it's amazing how they barely just showed the trailer like 2 weeks ago, and now it's a month away, and they're trying to. That's pretty amazing that they put a Super Bowl ad to it, but they didn't really confirm a big monster at the end of the Super Bowl ad. But that house was glowing and everything, so I'm assuming a monster is either behind it, or I don't know what type of monster it's going to be, but I don't think it's going to end well for the character outside. But I can't wait to see it. I'm going to see it in IMAX next month, so it's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good movie. Now, the first one, like I said in previous videos, I think this was like one of the first found footage movies they did besides the Blair Witch Project. Right. It was like the start of the whole found footage thing. And basically it was, they were at a party, and I guess these things, they're almost like Godzilla or something, I would say. They come after the people, and they're filming it like while they're at a party and all this shit. It wasn't a bad movie. I seen it with an ex-girlfriend at the time. This one's going to be different, though, I believe. It's not going to be exactly like that one. And especially it's not going to be found footage, But basically, the new thing that they showed today, I thought was pretty cool. You know, they're leaving, you know, it in a mystery. They're not showing you everything in the trailer and ruining the fucking movie like usual. That's a good thing. So I enjoyed that. And if I had to rate what they showed today, I would give it another 8. I thought it was good. You know, what would you rate that? From 10.
I'd probably give it an 8 as well, because it wasn't great, but it was pretty good on how they had that suspense there, and it basically showed that John Goodman took her in and is keeping her hostage, sort of sense.
Yeah, it's going to be a good movie, I believe. I have high hopes for it. 10 Cloverfield Lane. Other than that, any new trailers you've seen?
Yeah, a few. I know I haven't seen them, but they released on the Super Bowl right now. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 and the Independence Day Resurgence that just came out like 10 minutes ago. I haven't seen them, but no, they're out there. So
yeah, I didn't get to see them two yet. We will talk about them two next week, but they are out now. There's other trailers that we have to check out that they just aired with the Super Bowl. So I'm lucky I got to see the Cloverfield and the Jason Bourne. But we will talk about them. I'm looking forward to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 movie. It looks great from what I've seen from the trailer. And what was the other one you mentioned? Independence Day. Done. I'm for sure seeing the second one. There's no questions asked on that. It sucks Will Smith's not in it. I'm kind of a little disappointed about that. But Jeff Goldblum's in it. That's good. You know.
But the Captain America Super Bowl ad, did you see that?
No, I didn't get to see that. They showed another Captain America trailer, or
yeah, it's 31 seconds. It's amazing.
We'll save that for next week too. Well, no, you can talk about it because I talked about something. I said go right. What do they show?
It's more of a heavily on Winter Soldier. Basically, it does show a cool moment where Iron Man, Tony Stark, he has this new like a watch thing where his hand turns into a suit, like glove suit, and like he literally Bucky had the gun at him and he covered it in like the bullet got stuck in the glove. Like he didn't get shot. It looks like Winter Soldier's trying to kill Tony Stark. But towards the end of the TV spot, it shows, you know, Tony Stark says you chose the wrong side, and then it shows Captain America's team.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fucking awesome movie. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, but they showed Ant-Man at the end.
Another Ant-Man?
Yeah, Ant-Man had a new mask and everything. It looked fantastic.
Oh, now is Ant-Man gonna be in Winter Soldier? Is that what you're saying, or is there an Ant-Man 2?
No, Ant-Man 2 is in 2018 or 2017.
Okay, so that is a for sure thing, Ant-Man, because I loved the first Ant-Man. I thought it was awesome.
But Ant-Man's going to be in Civil War as well.
See, I didn't know that. I knew Spider-Man's going to be in it, right?
Yeah, Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Black Panther, The Vision, a lot of people. It's basically like Avengers 2.5.
Oh, okay.
So, a lot of people are going to be in it. But Ant-Man has a new mask and everything, sort of a new look to his suit. It's pretty awesome. He's on Captain America's side.
1 second. Sinclair on air said, what's both of y'all's take on Marvel's Phase 3 lineup? Y'all think a decent lineup, or does it look like they are just trying to cram a bunch of Marvel films in a few years for a profit? Question mark. Your thoughts on that, Daniel?
Hold on. I don't know what's on Phase 3. Let me look real quick.
Yeah, he got me on that one. What do you mean by Phase 3 lineup? Like there are movies that are coming out, or?
Oh yeah, I know what he's talking about. I'm just trying to look what movies. There's 11 movies in Phase 3.
Okay.
Like War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Thor.
So in other words, are you asking if I think so you're asking a decent lineup, but does it look like they're just trying to cram a bunch? Oh, you're meaning like, is it too much? Is that what you're trying to say? Phase 3 Marvel. I think what you're meaning is it too much. Let me just check out this Phase 3. So phase 3, basically. Oh, so you got Civil War, Guardians of Galaxy 2, Black Panther, which I'm excited for because that's another superhero that I know not much about, but he seems interesting.
Right.
Captain Marvel, The Avengers, Infinity War Part 2. That's May 19th. That's a ways off. May 2019. Doctor Strange, Thor, the upcoming Thor movie. Avengers part. My bad. Avengers Part 1 and Part 2 of Infinity War and Inhumans, I believe it's called.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. How many movies? I mean, do you want to go first, Daniel?
Yeah. I'll. You know, I'm like I said, I'm a big Marvel fan, and they've announced this like a year ago of this lineup, and don't forget Spider-Man is also included in there as well. But I think it's great. I mean, it's great to see what the future holds for us within the next 5-6 years. That's pretty amazing. As well as DC has done that also. They planned out their whole universe. And even once we get to Avengers Infinity War Part 2, it's just going to keep on going on and on and on. Another 5 years, another 5 years. It means the money, but also imagine how many other superheroes could come on 10 years down the road once Iron Man and Captain America leaves. So I think it's perfect for us because as there are a lot of superhero movies, but you got your X-Men universe, you got your Batman, Superman universe, and you got your Marvel universe. It's just they only do like 3 a year now. I think Marvel's doing like 3 movies a year after next year, which is a lot of movies for Marvel. People could get burnt out, but then again, there was a time where there were no superhero movies every so on. So, but with Phase 3, I think it's pretty great how they're doing it, especially how they got the directors from the Winter Soldier that are directing Civil War to direct the Avengers movie with Infinity War. So they got a great lineup, and every year they're taking a risk. Next year, or this year's Doctor Strange, that's going to be a big risk. Hopefully, people that makes big money. Next year will be like Black Panther, big risk. So they just keep on taking risks. But I like the lineup a lot. It gives me like something to look forward to in the future, basically. So fine for me.
Okay, is that all you got on that subject?
Yeah. Other than that, well, let me just take a look real quick. I know. Yeah, everything's fine. Doctor Strange, Thor, Inhumans is a way off. 2018, 20. Yeah, all of it's far off. But I mean,
Well, the closest one you got is Civil War with the Captain America, and then this will be Doctor Strange. They got 2016.
Yeah, it's in November. The trailer come out with Civil War when it comes out.
Okay. My thoughts on the whole thing. I'm excited for all of it. I'm more of a DC guy. I'm so excited that they're getting DC out there finally. I love Marvel, but Marvel's had its time to shine, and it's still shining. It's going to be shining for a while, but I like that DC's getting some light too. It's always like Batman, Superman, but never anything else. And I love the Suicide Squad that's coming. But the whole thing with Marvel, I'm very interested in the new Captain America movie. I never got to see Guardians of the Galaxy, so I'm going to see the first one before I see the second one. So I will check that out because I heard great things about it. Thor, I love the first one. I love the second Thor. I'm a big Thor fan. Love Thor. The Avengers, I've only seen the first one. I've never got to see the new Avengers, and I'm going to check out the other ones too. I'm a Justice League fan. I like the Justice League. I can't wait for that. But I do like the Avengers too. The first one that I saw. I never got to see the new one. Black Panther, I would say, out of this whole list, I am the most excited for. Black Panther. I want to see that. And Captain Marvel. And I've never heard of the Inhumans. Is that going to be cool? That's the only one I've never heard of.
Yeah, that's new as well. They've already started the planning on Inhumans and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So they've already introduced the Inhumans and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay. So yeah, Phase 3. I'm glad you filled me in on that. Sinclair on air. Thanks, man. And he says, are they going overboard, or do you think the films will be decent? I feel like they may lose quality over the time being that there are so many coming in the next few years. Now, on that, I do think they're going overboard. I think they're just cashing in on all this while they can, and they're going to most likely, I would say by, the end of Phase 3, people are going to start. It could be a chance they could be tired of this, you know. But there, at the same time, people like Daniel said, you know, there was a time when there was no superhero movies, and we were begging for some of this shit. And here we get it, and a lot of people now are like, there's too much. But I guess it's better too much than none at all. But I don't know. They could oversaturate it. Right now, it's oversaturated, but they could give way too much where people could get kind of just burnt out on it. And then it'll go through its cycle like everything else, where you know they do it so much, and then you don't see it for a long time, and then one movie comes back, starts it all up again. You know, what's your thoughts on that, Daniel? Are they going to overboard on this, or do you think the films will be decent?
I do think that Marvel is going overboard in a sort of sense, how they make it sort of easy, like Ant-Man. It was a heist movie, basically. When you think it's just a heist movie. And that's a simple, there's hundreds of heist movies all the time. And that they made so much money on that just because the guy shrinks, and, you know, that's awesome. That's great. It was a great movie. But the same as like when Doctor Strange comes out and everything, will it just be a simple storyline? Just anybody could write that storyline, or will it be something different that it's worth, you know, putting in their money? Because they're making a lot of money, but is it actually, you know, is it a simple storyline, or is it something new and unique sort of sense? Because the way they do everything now, it's just like Batman v Superman, Captain America, Civil War. It's just them fighting each other because they have a little argument or they don't like each other. So it's just same storyline all the time. That's where I think they're just kind of making money. But if they do something unique and different, then I think they should do it. But I do fear for like Black Panther and all that. I feel like they're just going to have regular storylines to do.
And also he says, DC and Marvel are both putting out a lot. Personally, I'll never get tired of it. Yes, that they are taking a lot of risk. And then he says, I appreciate y'all's feedback. I look forward to more DC and Marvel as well as y'all's videos. Thanks, man, for the support. Sinclair on air. I really do appreciate it. My whole thing, like, too, with, you know, now that I'm getting into the whole TV show, like, I love Arrow. I love The Flash. I finally started watching The Flash. Thank you, Daniel, for that. You gave me the code. And two, like, in my opinion, like, I like how they do Arrow and how they have time to tell everything. For movies, it's so hard for them sometimes to put it all into a movie. Like, I think a TV show with a superhero is just so much better. I'm more of a fan of the TV shows than the movies. But at the same time, I love that DC now is focusing on other things. And even though I'm a huge Batman fan, it's not just Batman. Like, I love that the Suicide Squad's coming. I know that's a lot to do with Batman, but it's more of a and Batman's in the movie. I know he plays a part in the movie, but I like that they're focusing on other stuff. I do. Like the Suicide Squad, what's really cool about that is it's something that not many people know of. The only thing that I've seen them do with the Suicide Squad, other than this, what's coming up, other than the comic books too, and the movie that's coming, if you watch Arrow, there's a part in Arrow where the Suicide Squad, they use Deadshot, and you hear Harley Quinn in her cell, and the lady hits the cell to make her be quiet. It's pretty cool. I like that. Like, Suicide Squad was shown in Arrow. But I'm just interested in other stuff from DC. Marvel, I like Iron Man, I like Spider-Man, but how many times? I mean, Spider-Man's, they're burning him the fuck out. Like, they're always rebooting the series now. Now they got a new guy. They said before this was going to be the new guy, and they were going to do the what was the movie they were going to originally do? The Deadly Six or something. What was it called?
Sinister Six.
What was it?
The Sinister Six.
Yeah, they were going to do that, and now they're going to do something totally different. And I was like, and I was like, where's Carnage? Where the hell is Carnage? I heard one time Jim Carrey was going to play Carnage, and that would have been cool as hell. But they never did that. But and a lot of people hated the Spider-Man movie, that Spider-Man 3, but I thought it was cool at least seeing Venom, even though they didn't do him that great. I didn't think the guy that played him did a bad job. I just didn't think they showed enough of Venom when he was actually Venom.
Right.
But I did like that Spider-Man. A lot of people didn't like it. But and I didn't think Tobey Maguire was a bad Spider-Man. I actually liked him better than the other guy, but that's just me. But I heard Tobey Maguire and Kristen Dunst and all them wanted a lot of money to keep doing Spider-Man. That's why they changed the people. So I guess all these people, I don't know how the new guy was that recently did the last Spider-Man. I don't know if he wanted a bunch of money, but they're getting another guy, I guess. Maybe he didn't want to do it or he wanted more money. I don't know the story with that. I'll have to look into it, but there's another Spider-Man coming. But any more on any of this subject, Daniel?
With Phase 3?
Yeah, Phase 3.
No, I just went blank right now, I guess.
It happens. He says the Flash and Arrow are great. Shows are better for sure. You can see more of the backstory and details. See you all next time. The last wasn't near as good as the earlier ones. One thing I do, since we're on the subject of Arrow, do you have any more of Phase 3?
No.
Okay. Arrow, I think I'm on like episode 14 of season 2, 14 or 15. I'm at the part now where Deathstroke is fucking Deathstroke. He's like, he just took some prisoners off of a bus, and he's trying to steal a weapon from where the Flash is. Like, what's the name of the place where the Flash is at that laboratory? What's the name of it? Star Labs. I think Star Labs. He went to Star Labs, tried to steal a weapon, which he did get the weapon. And now that you know, the one thing with Arrow, this is what I'll say. It's like everybody finds out who Arrow is. Like at a point of another, it's like so many people know who the Arrow is. Like in like a show like how Batman is, not many people know who Batman is, other than a few people. Arrow is like everybody finds out who that guy is. You know, you got the Suicide Squad agency lady. She knows who he is, the leader of the Suicide Squad. You got you know, relatives that know who he is, friends who know who he is, and I'm like, you know, it's cool because there's sometimes in the show I'll be like, I'm waiting for this person to find out who he is. But I think Arrow is one of the best shows I've seen in a long time, especially when it comes to superheroes. At first, I wasn't sure about it, but now that I'm watching it, it's like boom, 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 boom. And now that got me into wanting to watch The Flash, because The Flash, when I first saw the first episode, the characters I didn't find interesting or nothing. But then when I watched Arrow and they introduced The Flash in there, it made me interesting and got me into Flash, which I've always been a fan of Flash. I used to watch the old TV show back in the day. Right. What's interesting with the Flash, his dad that's in jail, that guy played the Flash on the old Flash. Right. That was the Flash on the TV show on the WB back in the day before now it's the CW or whatever. But what's your thoughts on Arrow? Like, don't spoil it. Like, I mean, try not to, you know, just like where in general, what of a show, what would you say is its cons and pros?
I mean, it's a great show at times. Season 3 has its ups and downs, but it definitely, the style or the budget of how they do it, because CW, their budget sometimes, you know, you can tell it's low, but they work with what they do. The action, I said the choreography, the fighting in there is fantastic. That's one of the best things, is the fighting in there. I mean, every season it has its good stuff and bad stuff. Oliver Queen, he's there. He's a good person. Stephen Amell. Felicity is not. I don't like Felicity whatsoever.
You're not a big fan of Felicity? I think she's pretty good. She's like a little nerd, but I could understand if somebody don't like her. I can get that. I get that.
But season 2, I said this before, that season 2 is the best thing about it. Walking out of it, owning it, and seeing it was Deathstroke. He's the one that makes it. Once you get to the last episode, like, he is the reason why season 2 is a phenomenal, probably the best season out of all Arrow so far. Probably ever will be. Season 2 will be the best. But it's just because Arrow started off, you know, the superhero TV show stuff. I mean, it's Smallville and all that a long time ago. Obviously, it's been around, the superhero stuff. But now, recently, in modern day, that's what Arrow started all that stuff, and the Flash and all this. I mean, it was just awesome.
Arrow started up and made it relevant again for TV.
Yeah, that's what made it so big. And then, like you said, Suicide Squad was on there. Like, just that little stuff that they added in there was pretty awesome. And I do say, like, 23 episodes is quite long for Arrow, and even if I was like the main actor on Arrow, 23 episodes is a lot for me to film every episode. But I mean, it's something. Like I said, it's my favorite DC superhero show right now. It's just a great show. I mean, if people haven't seen it, which I know a lot of people haven't seen it, I even got my mom into it a few years ago. I mean, it's easy to get into once you start watching it.
Yeah.
It's just a fun show. I mean,
so Felicity would be your least favorite character?
Yeah, well, starting from season 3, yeah, that's when she started getting annoying, like crying every single episode.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, so.
What do you think about John Diggle? Do you like him? Oliver's sideman?
He's now in season 4-ish area. He's not that. He's something else later on. He's still an awesome person. Like, he's cool and all, but once he starts getting, like, without spoiling, but once he gets more involved with the Team Arrow and everything, like more into it in the action scenes, he has it's just he's not that he's likable, but he's just not interesting anymore. Like it's hard to explain, but
okay. But does he? What was he? Jump ship? Has he become a bad guy or something?
No, he's not a bad. He has a helmet.
Okay, so he turns into a superhero too. Like he actually gets an identity, or
No, not an identity, just a helmet. But it's stupid. Like the way they made him look. It's like a Magneto helmet.
Oh, okay. Stupid. Now, what about Roy? Thea's boyfriend. I'm having a hard time getting into him, like as a character.
Right. I never really liked him or Thea. Them both. I never really became fans of them.
Yeah, her boyfriend. He's got the serum that makes him strong, but he's such a.
Yeah.
He's not a good actor. He's kind of annoying. Like how you feel with Felicity, I feel with Roy. Like I find him annoying. Like I'm like, all right, just put a fucking arrow in him, kill him, like get him out of here. Like, just shoot him, aim for the head next time instead of the leg.
Right.
What about his girlfriends, the sisters,
Laurel
and
Sarah.
And Sarah, what's your thoughts on them?
Laurel, I mean, she's annoying at times, especially in season 2 and 3, but she gets easier throughout. And then Sarah is the Black Canary, right, in season 2?
Yeah, well, she's she came now. Oh, that's awesome. That is the coolest part I've seen so far that I really loved is when Sarah's walking away from her dad, and all of a sudden you see Ra's al Ghul's daughter. She like comes down in this like I don't know. It almost looks like she's gonna turn into something, but it's actually just like something she's climbing down. It's so cool how they did that. I'm a big fan of the League of Shadows. I like that with Batman. I thought that was really cool. That really stood out for me. I like Sarah. I don't know what she turns in. She's the Canary right now. I don't know if she turns in. Does she turn into two superheroes or?
No, but that's just her name, Black Canary.
I thought it was just the Canary. It says, I guess, the Black Canary. This is the problem I've always had with superheroes. Okay, so Sarah, for her Black Canary outfit, she has a basically something that just kind of like Robin, just covers his eyes. You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me that Laurel can't notice that that's her boyfriend? I mean, that's her sister before she starts catching on because Deathstroke told her. Like, she don't know that's her sister, and she don't know Oliver. Hey, Daniel, do you know who I am? Like, how could you not know who I am by just putting a fucking hood on? And you even see his beard. Like, yeah. And okay, so the Flash gave him the eye thing, but still you can see his beard and everything. Like, and he asked Roy one episode, he's like, you got your hood still? Oh, what does a hood make you, like, hide your identity? It's almost like Clark Kent. That's one thing with DC. It's the way they cover the identities. Like, who the hell don't know Clark Kent is Superman? Okay, he takes his glasses off. So what if, for example, What if Clark Kent is basically, you know, in a room and he drops his glasses? Okay. Does he show his identity that he's Superman? like, like, like at least Batman, his face is covered. You only see like right here, like right here, you know. But like, I'm sorry, the Arrow, Superman of all, Superman right there, where I don't see how they fucking know his identity. You know, Sarah's just wearing an eyepiece. Her hair's fucking blonde. It's not even styled different. Like,
Right.
I was like, okay, are these people just fucking stupid, or is that just how they write the show? Like, but you do get what I'm saying, right? At least Iron Man, you know, the Hulk turns into a big green monster. You know, I can buy that. People don't understand the idea. Spider-Man, his whole, you know, his whole face is covered. You know, but that's just me. Let me see if there's any comments. Okay, I missed some comments. Sinclair, he's writing away. Spidey is a worn boot. The last wasn't near as good as the earlier one. Star Labs. Oh, okay, thank you, buddy. Yeah, and Buried the Flash is getting outed by more people too. The Flash is on Earth too. Now be sure to catch up on both. They do. Yeah, everybody told me about the crossover. The last 2 seasons. Now, when's the crossover happen for Arrow? 3rd season or is it in the end of the 2nd?
For when they cross over?
Yeah, do they cross over on Arrow?
Yeah, Arrow and Flash, they cross over like around the mid-season finale, around there.
Of what season?
No, like a season. No, they cross over in season 3 of Arrow, but like episode 8.
Okay, Arrow, right?
Arrow.
And now does Flash have a crossover?
Yeah, Flash, it'll cross over like episode 8-ish area too.
The 1st season or 2nd?
1st season.
Okay, cool.
And then Flash is crossing over to Supergirl.
Oh, that's another one I gotta get into. I was a little bit up in the air about it. I heard it's good though, so I'm gonna check it out. Right. Also, Sinclair says you're going to enjoy the newest season of both shows. The Flash has CGI comparable to high-end films, even with their B budget. That's the one thing I have to give the Flash. Now, the Flash, from what I've watched, the Flash and Arrow, Flash budget looks way higher, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
You know, and the one thing about the Flash is the villains in the Flash and the superhero himself has powers, you know. Arrow, basically all them people are basically just like ninjas and regular people, you know, that learn like it's kind of like how some villains are with Batman. They're just ordinary people. But you know, in Arrow, you see a lot of Batman villains, like the Clock King. That's from Batman. I've seen him on Batman even back in the day on the old Batman show with Adam West, the Clock King. I thought they did the Clock King really good. Right. But I love Deadshot and all that. But I'm just saying the budget, like you were saying, in the Flash looks like movies. Like they did a great job with that. Arrow's not bad though. Arrow still pulls it off for what it is. I like Arrow. What do you think about their budget on the show, Daniel?
Yeah, I said earlier that the Arrow, the budget, the way that it looks, you know, it's more fighting, not a lot of special effects. Also, the way that the Flash and Arrow, Flash is filmed differently than Arrow, the way that it's filmed and the feeling of it. Because Arrow's more of a dark, gritty, and Flash is more of a light humor sort of adventure. So, yeah, you can tell the budget differently. Because, again, Arrow doesn't require so many practical effects. You don't have speedsters running around and all that. It's more combat. Flash is more running around, either suffocating you or throwing lightning bolts at you, something around that sort of thing. Because Flash really, he's not really good of a fighter. Arrow's more of the. Yeah,
well, I noticed that with Flash, like that's what I'm waiting. Like with Flash right now, what I'm watching. Is I was like, where's he gonna learn how to fight? Because all he does is have his superpower. That's it.
Right.
I was thinking maybe Arrow's gonna, you know, train him or something how to fight or something. But I guess he just learns over time or something. Is that what happens?
Yeah, it does.
Oh,
little by little.
That's what I figured. He just learns over time. Mm-hmm. So basically, so you filled me on that answer. But yeah, basically, sorry, I had to do something right there. I was stuck messing with the TV or something, taping Shameless. Sorry, guys. But yeah, any more on Arrow or the Flash that you want to add?
No, not. I mean, Flash season 2. I would say Flash season. I know you haven't got to season 2. I won't spoil nothing, but Flash season 1, I would say, from what I like Flash season 1 better than what season 2 is doing. Definitely the villain in season 1 is awesome. Once you meet the villain later on, and Arrow season 3, that's where it kind of drops everywhere. That's sort of where I kind of question, should I continue?
Oh, so
like season 2 is fantastic. Then
now, shout out to Demon Ralph. Demon Ralph said that too. He said he felt season 3 for Arrow.
Yeah, it fell down a lot because that's Ra's al Ghul, and now Ra's al Ghul, I like the actor who plays him, and it's awesome. I've said this many times before, but I had a conversation with him at Comic-Con, like a 5-minute conversation. So that's cool to, you meet Ra's al Ghul and Deathstroke at the same time. But he was good. It's just that everyone said it had that Batman feeling because he is sort of like Batman, Green Arrow. He's the billionaire and everything and all that. But it did fall apart. And I mean, Ra's al Ghul's an immortal, and he's facing Green Arrow, or Arrow at the moment. And it's sort of just like, how can an immortal, they fight multiple times. That's all I'll say, like through the 23 episodes, obviously. But yeah, I mean, come on, he's Ra's al Ghul, and like Green Arrow is like fighting him and everything, like blocking his attacks. It's pretty stupid the way that they did it. Like, that's what happens every Arrow season. The first 8 episodes are like a different feeling, and then like episode 15 to 23 are like they matured throughout the whole season. Once you get to that end of the season,
they do follow Ra's al Ghul as the immortal, like the comic.
Yeah, the Lazarus Pit.
Okay, so that's like the comic. So basically, Batman's not immortal. He fights Ra's al Ghul.
Right. What was that again?
Like what you say, you're saying, we got an echo going. Is that you or me?
I'm not hearing an echo from you.
Okay, so you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm good.
Ra's al Ghul has always been immortal. And basically, hold on, let me fix this. This is going to drive me nuts. Let me see if I can come in the podcast. Hold on 1 second. I'm hearing like a big nuts. All right. Sorry, guys, for the inconvenience. We're ongoing. Do you hear me? That's yeah, it's still echoing.
Now it's echoing even more.
We'll just have to go with this. Sorry, guys. It's going to echo. Basically, Ra's al Ghul, he's immortal. Batman, he fought him. Arrow's a lot like Batman, just with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire and everything. But you're saying it's not believable?
I mean, well, I can't spoil, but I'm just saying, like, the way that it all goes down within season 3, it's stupid how it goes. And that's not just the worst thing about it. I mean, it's Felicity that ruins it as well. Like, she cries every episode.
Don't tell me she becomes a superhero. You can spoil that. Does she become a superhero too?
No, she don't.
Thank God.
She doesn't become. But, yeah, I mean, again, with the Ra's al Ghul thing, I mean, he's fighting an immortal, but, like, this guy's been alive for thousands of years or hundreds of years, whatever he was. And, like, just the way towards the end of the season, it's the boss. Let's just say the final boss battle is a boring boss battle. It wasn't big. So it's a disappointing, like, where I would say season 1 is good, season 2 is great, season 3 is okay.
So season 2 is the best. The one I'm watching now.
Very bad. It's amazing. It's the best one yet.
So basically what happened in Gathering, they had a hard they put it on a pedestal in season 2 and they couldn't live up to it.
Right.
Yeah, that's what happened. Basically, maybe season 3 wasn't as bad as it looks if it didn't have season 2 being so great. Sometimes when things make something so great, it's hard to top that, you know.
Right.
But I think, you know, give it time. Every show has its up and down seasons. Maybe they will revive it somehow. Same thing with like Dexter. Dexter was like up and down its seasons. And I know that's not a superhero. I'm just saying. I'm giving an example of a show that went up and down, up and down, up and down.
Right.
But basically, that's our superhero talk on that. You want to move along from here?
Yeah. One more thing, real quick, with the superhero thing.
Just not trying to cut you off. This will be a different segment in the movie Tweaker, or we just have superhero stuff for like a half hour or so.
Right.
I just kept going.
Next month is a bigger month for March. It's technically within like 2 week span. March 18th is Daredevil season 2, and then March 25th is Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and then March 28th is the Flash Supergirl crossover. So within that 2 weeks, that's a big superhero event. So
okay,
that's awesome.
Okay, cool. All right. Any other things you got before we go into the main thing? With the OJ American Crime Story, People versus OJ Simpson. Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm ready to go to that.
Okay, so basically, American Crime Story started. I did a review on it on one of my latest videos. Thank you guys for all the support that you showed me for that review, because that makes me want to do more. You actually watched it. I know a lot of people don't like movie stuff on my channel because I do a lot of gaming stuff, but I do appreciate everybody check it out. And if I get the views, I'll carry on with it, just like everything else. And you guys showed me you liked it. So Daniel, I'm gonna let you go first. Your thoughts of American Crime Story. Let's start with the actors.
Oh wow, fantastic! The great acting. Cuba Gooding Jr. He was pleasantly very angry in here and yelling a lot, like O.J. Simpson. He was great in here. Sarah Paulson as Marcia Clark. She's the way that she looks and like almost close to accurate with the hair and everything was pretty damn perfect. Again, I'm not a big Sarah Paulson fan at all. I mean, she's a good actress, but I just seen her on screen. I'm bored by her sometimes because she's either crying or like in American Horror Story Hotel, she's smoking a cigarette and she's smoking a cigarette in here. But she's awesome in here. Really, I think that's the one I wrote in my review. I haven't actually filmed the review yet, but Sarah Paulson and Cuba Gooding Jr. are the two that are really shining out of here of the acting. John Travolta, he was awesome in here. I like the voice he's doing of Shapiro and the look he does, like the look, that makeup they got on him and everything. That was really awesome. David Schwimmer as the Kardashian. He's awesome in there. His looks right down. Who are the other? I know there's other actors in there.
You got John Travolta as Robert Shapiro. You got OJ as Cuba Gooding Jr., David Schwimmer as Robert Kardashian, Sarah Paulson as Marcia Clark, Selma Blair as Kris Jenner. What do you think of her?
Well, she was only in one scene, the funeral.
Oh, they're gonna put her in more because they're trying. One thing, I'm not trying to cut you off, but they're trying. Can you hear me good? There's no echo now, right?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, cool. That was driving me nuts. I'm sorry, guys, for the echo. Selma Blair, they have her playing as Kris Jenner. What they're trying to do with the whole Kardashian thing, they're trying to use the name to promote this show to make it a lot bigger, which it's a big thing anyways. They don't need to put the Kardashian name on it. The Kardashians had nothing to do with the OJ trial. Yes, OJ was friends with Kris Jenner and all them people, but other than Robert Kardashian, there was nothing to do with fucking the Kardashians for the OJ trial back in the day.
Right.
Like in the episode, like I said in my review, they have they're making it known that Khloe and Kourtney are at the funeral of Nicole. Like, all this shit, like he's in Kim Kardashian's bedroom holding a gun to his head. He's like, Robert Kardashian says, no, don't do it in my kid's bedroom. Don't do it in Kimmy's bedroom. Most likely that didn't happen, especially in Kim's bedroom. So they're putting the Kardashians' name out there. I just want to say that. But Selma Blair, what do you think of her so far?
She has the look down for sure. I mean, she has that perfect look for Kris Jenner. I mean, Selma Blair, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of her. I mean, she's all right. Last time I saw her was Anger Management with Charlie Sheen. But she has the right look.
Did you ever see Cruel Intentions?
No.
Well, that was her big stardom, was Cruel Intentions with Reese Witherspoon, back in the day. It was a big movie. That's where she put her name on the map, I guess.
Courtney B. Vance. I'm sorry. Courtney Vance. I believe his name is. He plays the guy who's like choose a side. That guy, lawyer, or he's something in there. They really
you're talking about Johnny Cochran. That's the guy. That guy is the guy that got OJ off. Like he's the guy that did it.
Yeah.
He's a big player.
Okay.
Like Johnny Cochran was the main brain to the operation of the Dream Team.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Like, do you know much about the? I'm assuming maybe not, right? Like, I'm not trying to say. Okay, well, Johnny Cochran. Let me just put it this way: if it wasn't for him, most likely OJ wouldn't have been walking around as a free man at that time.
Gotcha.
Not trying to spoil. I mean, that is a big spoiler. Well, I mean. Do you know what happened? Like, I'm just asking you for this without spoiling anything. Do you know what happened to OJ?
I think didn't he walk out free and then wrote a book or something about?
Okay, well, you have a general idea of what happened, so I didn't spoil it. Okay, I just want to make that. But yeah, Johnny Cochran. Basically, what you're going to learn in this, most likely, if they tell the story like I think they will, he was like the main brain to the whole Dream Team thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Johnny Cochran is Courtney B. Vance, like you said.
Right. Yeah, he was definitely a good actor in there. He was perfect the way his lines and everything, and he's playing to win or whatever when he says that I'm planning on winning. He was good in there. There's this other guy who's like he's talking on the phone. He's like, I'm going to go on a vacation. No one's going to notice I'm gone. There was another guy.
That's what I want to ask you. This is where I was confused. When that guy says he wants to take a vacation, was he working with Courtney B. Vance, Johnny Cochran at the time? Then he goes to Marsha Clark. I think that's what happened because he's talking to him in the office. And it seemed like they were on the same team then, and maybe he goes over to the DA's office because that's when he asked the guy. He's like, he's getting tired of being there. That's what kind of lost me. Maybe he did. I know he is on the DA side eventually. He joins their side, or he may be there from the beginning. I don't know, but he was talking to Johnny Cochran. That's the only part that lost me. I don't remember.
Right. I don't know much about his character that he's playing right now, but I'm assuming so that he switched to the other side.
Well, he's basically Marsha Clark's partner on the DA side.
Right.
So that's what he is. But I just didn't know if he was on, Johnny Cochran, then went to the DA's office to get a job. I don't know if that's how it went. But go on. I'm sorry to be cutting you off. I'm just rambling on.
It's fine. Well, I mean, other than the actors, just the opening of the show, like I didn't watch it on Tuesday, Wednesday. I actually saw it yesterday when you were texting me, like saying, do you want to do the podcast? And I literally was watching it, and it was on a commercial. I paused it. It's recorded and everything. And like just the opening alone with the Rodney King stuff, like how it gets your heart beating fast already with that first footage, like the first 2-3 minutes. And then it shows OJ walking out of his house and going to the limo and everything. And like just the way they set it up in the directing and the camera style and just how the show is, it's a very well-made show for sure. And then the dog barking at that whole scene there was really getting my heart pumped up and everything. Cause again, like I don't know much about the OJ, like I don't know every single detail. So that's what kind of works for me is that I don't know much about it. where I'll see it unravel throughout. But I thought it was all the actors did awesome. It was a well-directed show. When it showed the preview for coming this season sort of stuff, I did kind of feel like when they showed a few things, I was kind of like, I could tell I could get bored throughout the season at sort of points. Like some places didn't seem too interesting to me at times.
Well,
like I could tell there's going to be a few episodes where it'll be low, like sort of slow.
Not if it's done right. It won't be low.
Right.
This is a court-based show. I don't know if you're into that type of stuff. That's what's to be the boring part. Some people can't do court-based shows or court-based movies. Right. Did you ever see the movie Exorcism of Emily Rose by any chance?
No.
Dexter's sister. She played as an like she gets possessed. It's a true story. That's like a court-based movie. I'm just giving an example of like it's going to be basically. This is basically about the court, the trial itself, what's going through like probably OJ's head and everybody's head, during the trial.
Right.
But if they do it right, which I think they are going by the first episode, the show is going to be nonstop, especially for somebody like you that don't know much about the trial. It's going to be like, because when that trial took place in real life, there was so much stuff that was coming out every other day about it. Like that was shocking everybody. Like the glove, like when OJ's in the, like, I don't know. I don't want to. It's not really a spoiler, but it kind of is. I guess if we're talking about the show, so I won't say it. But the glove was a big thing. Pretty much Nicole, she was decapitated. Like her, like the photos in real life were so bloody. Like they wouldn't even show like whoever did it. They call it a Colombian necktie, where somebody basically picks you up by your head and cuts you from here, like, and just that's. The Colombian necktie. Like they stabbed them so many times. Like they were stabbed. There's a really interesting autopsy thing you can watch on OJ. I'll get the name of it and get it to you.
Mm-hmm.
But it shows how many times they were stabbed. And like supposedly they said Ronald Goldman was like a karate expert and like he did like a kick or something and it got him in the leg. But they have his hands like where they were sliced like this. They were cut up so many times it wasn't even funny. You could tell like whoever did it was in like a rage, like pissed off, like almost like, hey, you're fucking my wife. Like it wasn't like somebody going up there just assassinating them because they wouldn't have fucking knifed them like that. Like that's like you're pissed at somebody when you're killing them like that. Like they were stabbed so many times, like. I mean, it's unnecessary at a certain point, but it's a very interesting trial, and you'll be amazed like how much evidence they had on this guy, and he just walked off, I just saw his leave, like if, for example, you saw the whole first episode, right?
Right. Yeah,
okay. Now, if that was you. That had any association with that type of murder, they thought you were a suspect, you would be locked in handcuffs immediately. You would not be at the house where the crime scene was, taking showers, screwing girls. Like he's having sex with a girl, after his wife dies. Like none of that would be going on with you. You would be locked up immediately. Or I would be too, like in a heartbeat. There wouldn't even be questions asked. There would be no reason for us to go on a chase in a Bronco. Like they would have us in handcuffs the minute, like right where they handcuffed them in that backyard, we would be taken to the police station.
Right.
Like there'd be none of that. Like, well, maybe not that soon because when the evidence came back, that they would immediately went for us when they got the evidence back. All I can say is you'll like it. If you like what you've seen now, you'll like the whole show. It's 10 episodes. It's going to be 10 episodes. They said there were so many people that viewed this first episode. It's going to be a big success for Ryan Murphy. But the next one, have you heard what the next American crime story is going to be about? Katrina?
Katrina?
Yeah, Hurricane Katrina. I heard it's something I heard. I hope I'm not right. But I heard the next American crime story is about Hurricane Katrina. Because when that took place, there was a lot of looting, a lot of people getting raped. Like they might show the side of that. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong, but that's what I heard it's about the next season, Hurricane Katrina. If I am wrong on that, guys, whoever's watching that, or whoever's watching this. I could be wrong. I don't think I am. If I am wrong, correct me in the comment section. But I believe it's Hurricane Katrina. That's what they're doing it on, which I find very weird. But I can understand. The more I think about it, I can see what they're going to probably show. It would be cool for like a disaster and like all the stuff that took place. But I don't know how. I guess the crime part would be like the looting and all the people. What went? They said there was a lot of shit that they just didn't show that went on down there when that was all taking place. You know, like say your area, like where you live, like there's a big disaster that happens and people act crazy. Imagine the shit that goes on where police can't control stuff.
Right.
You know. Other than that, anything else you want to add to this that that you want to talk about, or like, what do you think of the guy that plays Kato Caitlin, the guy that answered the door for OJ with the long hair? It's like a stoner.
I think he was out of place a little bit. I mean, just the character kind of.
He's not like that in real life. That's another thing they kind of messed up on. Right. Like they even have him eating burgers. And the funny thing is, I was watching a TV show, like a talk show he was on. He's like, I don't even eat red meat. He's like, they have me like, he's like, hey, Kato, you like those hamburgers, don't you? Like, and they have him as like portrayed as a stoner, like Garth from Wayne's World. And he's like, and he was more Nicole's friend than he was OJ in real life.
Right.
But but this following week will be the episode called The Run of His Life. That basically it's going to be the infamous Bronco chase. Like, that's going to be probably a pretty good episode. And it's funny, like the only people really know that went on it, that knows what went on in that Bronco is OJ and Al Cowlings. That's it. I'm really finding it interesting what they're going to do with the Bronco scene. Like, are they going to have OJ saying a bunch of stuff he didn't say or what, Right. But like what you brought up was interesting. You said the whole Rodney King thing, they make you very aware of that. They show you that because at this time, the whole Rodney King thing was right before the trial. Like, this had a big influence on the verdict and the trial itself. Like, that helped OJ big time. Very big time, big time. They make you very aware that racism, with that, what went on with racism with the police for the Rodney King beating took a big influence on the O.J. Simpson trial. But the the woman that plays Marsha Clark, Sarah Paulson, in my eyes, she's like one of the best actresses, I would say, on TV. I liked her in America. Like, I'm with you. Like, I didn't think American Story Hotel was the best season. I thought it was a lot better than Freak Show. That's for damn sure. Right. But I thought she played a good junkie ghost. I like when she cracked her teeth and she's sitting there. Yeah, she cries a lot, but that lady can play some roles. Like, she looks like Marsha Clark. Like, that's what's crazy. Like, she's like a, I guess, underrated actress. I think I'd like to see her do like what she's gonna be like when she really gets going. Like, because this is definitely most likely she's gonna win an award for this. I can see it already, and this is gonna definitely boost her career.
Right.
But OJ, the name, where they get this whole story from, it's off a book, The Run of His Life, and I believe the author of this book, I'm not sure his life, Jeffrey Taubin, he made the book. That's where they get the the whole story from, which they took the story from other areas, but that's where the book, it's based on a book. From Jeffrey Taubin. And also, what was I going to say? They had him on TV one day, that guy, Jeffrey Taubin, and he was basically talking about this with the Ronald Goldman family and everybody. And basically, they didn't really contact anybody in the actual trial for like any advice for acting. They went all off of everything without their input, because usually, like, if they do a movie based on a true story, they get the actual people's input, and they didn't really do that. I think Sarah Paulson contacted Marsha Clark, but other than that, a lot of people were not contacted. Even like Kato Caitlin said that he wasn't contacted. Ronald Goldman's father, he wasn't contacted. And the worst part, you'll see why I got this in my head, you'll see with the whole OJ trial, Ronald Goldman, the guy that died with Nicole, they don't make a big deal about him at all. It's all about Nicole and OJ and, you know, everything else. Ronald Goldman was knifed to death, and they don't even really talk about him.
Right.
Like, he's never an issue. Like, it was always overlooked. That's the sad part about the whole trial. You know, that guy lost his life too. Anything else you got to add? I'm gonna look if there's any comments. I think we covered all the comments. Anything else you want to add, or anything else you want to talk about?
Well, for the OJ thing, the rating I gave it, again, I still have to fill my review, but I'm giving it an A- for sure. I think it was great, a great start. But then again, like, it never shocks me how FX, because I love FX. FX makes very good quality shows, and the budget they use, it's very high. But I'm happy it's a 10-episode thing. You know, usually shows are like 13 episodes on FX. So if it's 10 episodes, that's pretty easy for 10 weeks.
Yeah, I don't see how they could stretch it for 13, and you know, that'd be overkill. Even 10's kind of overkill in my opinion.
Yeah, they should probably do it for like 6 episodes or something.
Yeah. But I don't know, it might be great. Like I said, there's a lot of people focused. Like I'm saying, like, do your review on this, it'll do good. Like, people are I know it's a little before your time and everything, but this is like a big subject, a big interesting topic in American history that happened. You don't really realize how big OJ was. OJ was a huge football player. He was in The Naked Gun. He was a movie actor. This was like unheard of. Like, when nobody believed OJ did this. Like, a lot of people didn't believe. They couldn't believe he could do such a thing. Like, it shocked America. And the whole Bronco chase. You know, when that Bronco chase took place, how many things, like, every channel you turned on, that was what was on. It was nothing else but the Bronco chase. I think it went on for, like, I couldn't tell you how long that shit went on. Like, even the trial went on for like a year or so. Like, that verdict, when they had the verdict come in, there was so many people watching that, you know, like, it was like the top viewed thing in the world. Like, it was one of the top viewed things on TV in the world at that time, you know, and probably I would believe now, you know, so many people tuned in for the verdict of the OJ case. But what were you wanting to say? I'm just rambling on tonight. This is actually a night I'm really interested to, like, be talking and shit.
Oh, for sure the OJ thing was. I thought the way it ended with him driving, like when the fast car was just like going different lanes and the music going on with it, and just kind of like the camera, and it was like driving from far away. That was awesome. I really would have thought, you know, I get the chase probably takes a while, obviously. But if they ended it, because, you know, FX goes over time a lot. They go either, like, you can't tell when FX is going to do like an hour, 20-minute, an hour 30, an hour episode. They always go overtime sometimes. And if they showed the chase and ended it with the chase, the first episode, like him actually going throughout the whole chase, would have been a little bit better. But I still think the ending was great. But if I could have saw, you know, they could have done the chase in this episode, that would have been cool.
Yeah, I think they're gonna save the chase. They're probably gonna make it a lot, like, they're gonna do something they're gonna do with that chase where they're gonna make it, like, I don't know, like, because I grew up on this shit, so it was like, really, in my opinion, I didn't know how much more they could tell you that you didn't know already, but that's what's shocking. They're showing me stuff that I don't remember and that I didn't know. Like, when I watched this episode, man, it was like it was over in a heartbeat. I wanted more. I was like, that's how good it was to me. Yeah. Like, you're younger. I'm not putting you down or nothing because you're young. Don't take it like that. But it just, to you, it might not seem as it just, if you followed that, it's kind of cool how they got so much out of it that you didn't know. Like, I thought they did that dog scene really cool with the blood on the dog.
Yeah.
I love the whole thing. Like, it was one of the best things I've seen on TV in a long time. Like, that I really sat there and just was glued to the TV.
Right.
I loved it. I really did. I scored a 10 out of 10 first episode. I hope every episode's like that, but I'm sure they're not going to all be like that.
Right.
One thing I do want to mention, The Outsiders. Well, anything more on OJ that you got anything to say?
Yeah, I know it's a big case. Like, I do know, you know, how big it is. And I'm interested to learn over the next weeks of the thing where I like what they're doing because American Horror Story, it's going to keep on continuing and going on. But I could really get used to this American Crime Story where every year there's a different crime.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's interesting because it's different every year. I don't know if they're going to use the same actors. Hopefully they move on to different actors and not do that same actor stuff. And they probably will. I don't know how they're going to do it. But when they do, I just like it more like American Crime Story. It's a better title for me. I like the whole feeling of it, the way it's directed. Ryan Murphy really doesn't put a lot of his stuff into it this time naturally, where there's people getting raped with dildos, all that. So
yeah, he definitely influences his whole homosexuality on people, like in big time, especially with American Horror Story Hotel, which I really think hurt that season. I mean, I didn't think it was a bad season at all. Right. I just think I read some people's comments on different reviews, and people just don't like this whole homosexuality, transgender shit pushed on you, like he does, like the dildo ghost and the gay lumberjack guy, and you know, like all that. Did you finish American Horror Story Hotel yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to finish it before February, the end of February.
Well, one thing with American Horror Story, like I said before, it starts out up here, like it's up in the air, and then over season it goes like this.
Yeah.
You know, it goes like, like it starts out on a high point and then ends on a very low point. Now, this show, I hope it stays up there. I hope it stays, even if it goes down to here is fine, but stay as high as you can. I think they can do it. See, the difference that this show has that American Horror Story doesn't have, there's like, this show has like all big actors. Like, yes, American Horror Story has Kathy Bates, which is a huge actor. She's big from Misery. I don't know if you ever saw Misery. Did you ever see Misery?
No, I know what it is though.
That's a very good movie. If you've never seen it, you'd like it. It's very good. That's Kathy Bates, like one of her biggest movies. But she's a big actress. She's like you know, kind of like where would I put her with other actresses? You know, she's like I don't know if you know who Goldie Hawn is or any of them people, or like Kate Hudson's mother, you know, or Julia Roberts. You know, she's up kind of there. You know, she's a big actress.
Right.
Not like Julia Roberts, not like Pretty Wise, but she's on that level of an actress. Yeah, see, the American Crime Story has John Travolta, Cuba Gooding Jr. Like, they're starting off with a fucking huge cast. Like, you know, I was amazed that John Travolta did this, but you're seeing a lot of, you know, movie actors going to TV now because that's where the money is. It's doing good. But the movie is the show's very well done, like a movie, you know. But I'm with you. I like this American Crime Story, but I'm a huge horror fan. I love American Horror Story. I just wish it would stay, you know, when the show starts off, stay there. Don't go down to the dumps. Like, write a script that, you know, follows. Don't start off as a high level. If they can't hold that high level, then start off in the middle and, you know, keep it at a middle level. Like, because it's not, they always ended on a bad note. I'm just saying. Like, did you see The Conjuring yet, or did that ever come in? Or
I have it. I just haven't looked at it yet.
Yeah, you gotta check that out, man. We gotta talk about. Hopefully, you watch this week. We could talk about next week because I want to start talking about the new Conjuring. Just going on about because that's coming out, I believe, in March. I think, right? Is it March, May, April, somewhere around there? The new one.
It's still a while away, a few more months, but I'm gonna watch it.
It's not that far away. Like, I can't believe how close March came. You know, like March is this next month. Like, it's gonna be here. Like, time flies, man. Like, you know, before we know it, we'll be in the summertime watching these fucking superhero movies. They'll be here. I'm telling you. Okay. Is there anything else in American Horror Story or American Crime Story?
No, it's a great show. That's about it.
All right.
Awesome cast.
Yeah, great cast. Great show. And I will be covering that, and I think Daniel will be too on his channel with the reviews and some podcast in the future, we may talk about it if a really good episode happens, or if you guys want us to talk about it, tell me in the comment section. Give me some feedback, guys, for this podcast. I really would appreciate it. Good, negative, bad, whatever. Tell me what you want to see. If you want us to sit here and talk about superheroes for an hour or whatever, I'll put more time with superheroes. I don't know what to do. You guys got to tell me what you like. I can only go by what I'm told. But yeah, there's a new show called The Outsiders. Basically, my best way to describe it, it's like Sons of Anarchy meets Hillbillies.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, basically, the best way to describe this show, other than that, is it takes place in Kentucky. And it's on WGN. It's on the same channel as. Do you watch Salem?
No.
Oh,
well, I know what it is.
Gotta catch up on that. You'll love it.
Right.
But Salem. Oh, Marilyn Manson does the theme music. Oh, dude, the show's great. Like, you gotta see it. Yeah, you're missing out. Like, you like witches? Like, you like stuff to do with witches?
Sometimes.
You strike me as not a horror guy.
No, I like horror, classic horror, but it's not like I own it. I own a lot of horror movies, or
It's a good show. It shows you the new twist on the Salem witch trials and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really like the when they show the witches. Sometimes it's kind of creepy. Like it's really good story. The girl from the Evil Dead, Ash vs. Evil Dead, like that woman that's after Ash, she's like one of the main witches. Fantastic show. You'd like it. I would give it a shot at least. But basically, Outsiders is a new TV show, WGN. It came out this month. It started, I believe it's in two episodes in. It'll be the third episode coming this Tuesday. And basically, it's about a family that lives on a mountain, basically, that they want to get them off of it. And basically, the town wants to start mining up there to make money. And this family has lived there for generations after generations after generations. And they don't know how to read. They can't read. They're illiterate. They're basically like mountain people. And they go down to the city every once in a while. Whenever they go to the city, the townspeople are kind of scared of them. Because they'll go into like the sports store and just steal shit. And then they leave like a pigeon or something, like a wooden pigeon on the cash register. It's like their peace thing, like saying, hey, we're taking this shit. You're going to be okay with it. But now it's like at a point where the cops, like some of the cops are kind of like sick of them. And then the people want to start real estate and stuff up there. And I think it's for mining. I'm not 100% sure. But they want to start doing stuff with that property. And basically, they don't want to leave their mountain. And basically, they sit there and call each other cousins, like, hey, cousin, because they literally are cousins. But it's a very interesting show, and they make this moonshine that I think that can make you hallucinate. I guess a spoiler a little bit. Like they sell this moonshine to a drug dealer, and the one guy in the mountain meets a girl, and he wants to start taking her out on dates, but he don't have any money. He lives up in the mountain. So he brings some of his moonshine that they make down there and sells it to a drug dealer, and the guy gives him money for it. But this moonshine can make you like hallucinate, because the drug dealer tells the kid, he's like, hey, don't chug that shit. And what does the kid do at the party? He chugs it. So basically, the kid goes home and he's seeing the devil and shit, and he sees his dad as a devil and just fucking stabs him. And basically, it gives you a general idea of like what the show's about. It's stuff like that. I'm not trying to spoil it, but it's about mountain people. But the best thing I could describe, like Sons of Anarchy meets the mountains of Kentucky. It's a good show. It's on WGN. I would recommend it to anybody. I watched the first 2 episodes, and I would score them both at about an 8 or 9. 8 to be fair. It's a good show. Anything you got, Daniel, other than what we talked about?
Well, real quick with the Outlanders. There is a guy from Sons of Anarchy in there.
Yeah,
I know that.
Opie. Yeah.
Yeah, the Opie, right? Opie. Yeah, he's in there, and I could have actually met him at a Comic-Con, the one I went a few months ago, but I was just like scared because he has a big beard and everything, and he's tall. I was just like, no, I ain't gonna go up to him. But now, actually, I saw that commercial where he's like screaming in the air. He's screaming something.
That's Ryan Hurst.
Ryan Hurst, yeah, he was great in Sons of Anarchy, but I'm interested in seeing the show. I got to find a way to look at it, catch up on the first two, but
first episode is on YouTube.
YouTube, okay.
Yeah, if you catch the first episode, I'm sure by now before Tuesday you'll find. I'm sure you can find the first episode and possibly the second one on YouTube. I could give you the link to the first one for sure. Right. And maybe the second one's on the website. They have it up there because I'm sure they're trying to promote this show.
Yeah. Well, that should be good. Yeah, it looks good. It looks interesting. It looks dark.
Was he a big guy when you met him in person? Like when you got to see him? Like I know you said you didn't get to go up to him, but was he like from when you see him? Was he like a tall person? I take it he's really tall.
No, he's tall and his beard, and he had his like hair in a ponytail and a beanie, like with his hair ponytailish. Yeah, he was big. I like saw him from afar. I just don't want to go like there was a big line for him, Sons of Anarchy fans, and so I didn't because I didn't have money, so I just went up to say like hi to the celebrities, like just shake their hands, and I wasn't gonna wait in line just to say that to him real quick. So I didn't really know much. I remember him dying, Opie, in the show, but I didn't really get to see him like in season 3 and all that, like when he shined. So.
Oh yeah. I was with you. I was like you. I started watching Sons of Anarchy from the beginning, and then I fell off with just life and stuff. I didn't keep up with it, and then I caught. Then when the final season was airing, I was like, "Oh, this looks cool." So I watched the final season because I had a general idea of the show, and then I went back and watched it all. I watched from season 4 to there, and then I went back and finished and watched the rest I missed. And yeah, it's really sad what happens to him in that show.
Yeah. That's a very memorable episode there. But from Sons of Anarchy, you know that guy, the one that has his hand wooden? He's bald. His name's Chucky. Yeah, him. Man, I talked to him for maybe like more than 5 minutes for sure. Like me and him were having conversation because no one was around. I guess he's not that popular for Sons of Anarchy. Everyone goes to like TIG and everything. But man, I was just, like talking to him about like writing like tips and everything. Like him giving me tips. It was really awesome because he's in Sons of Anarchy and everything. So that was awesome. I asked him how the Bastard Executioner, like, because the guy who made Bastard Executioner did Sons of Anarchy, and like he's like, oh, it looks pretty good, and then like it gets canceled a few months later, and it's not really a good show, the Bastard Executioner.
Yeah, I watched the first episode part of it, and I couldn't get into it, and I love Game of Thrones, and I just couldn't. Something was telling me like give it a chance, whatever, but something told me it was gonna get taken off the air. It just sucked. It had Bill from, I don't know if you watched True Blood. Bill was in it, But I couldn't, Vampire Bill. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know. I found the cast was boring.
It was boring, yeah. And he canceled it too. Kurt Sutter. He just said no one's watching it. I'm not gonna make more. So that's fine with me. I didn't like it. So.
One thing I want to say, what's up, heavy-handed gamer? Heavy-handed gamer first said, he said they should just make a show based on Alien versus Predator universe. That would be cool. Or Escape from New York. I'm sure they could make a great show off that universe. I agree, man. And sorry, man, I wasn't paying attention to the chat. That's why I missed your questions. He says, can you guys see the chat? Yeah, I can see the chat. He says it's going to be the first time seeing your show, all about it's about this podcast is about movies, TV shows. Like today we talked about what did we briefly talk? We talked about Deadpool. We talked about all the Phase 3 of the Marvel movies coming out. We talked about the O.J. Simpson American Crime Story. We talked a little bit about American Story Hotel. We go on just about everything. But what would you like us to talk about? Like whatever you're interested. I'm taking feedback for future episodes. But anything else you got, Daniel?
For next week to talk about, I know the X-Men Apocalypse Super Bowl thing just came out as well. For X-Men Apocalypse. And next week's Walking Dead next Sunday.
Oh, I can't wait for the Walking Dead. That starts next Sunday. I don't know if people want us to do a segment on that, which more we could cover for that, because I'd rather just watch. What would you think we should do about that?
You mean like to avoid spoilers?
What would you want to do next week? Do an episode on The Walking Dead, just talking about past things that happened, or do you just want to wait till the episode comes?
No, we could wait for in 2 weeks. Once because probably next Saturday night. We usually do on Saturday instead of like Sunday night. It's too late when The Walking Dead premieres. So, we'll figure something out.
And that's one thing we do cover is The Walking Dead. Like when that's on, that's a big thing we talk about. We usually spend about 20 minutes talking about that. But superheroes will be a thing that we talk about more. Like we'll cover more of that, like a 20-minute part of that of the podcast. Podcast usually runs an hour to an hour and a half. Just for the people watching that know. Anything else you got to mention other than that, Daniel?
Yeah, I said last week or 2 weeks ago, they didn't put Negan on they didn't do the Entertainment Weekly cover of Walking Dead, but we still got one more week because I noticed I have my magazines on the wall of The Walking Dead, and usually the week it premieres is when they put a Walking Dead theme cover. So this week could be Negan, or else they could just be saving Negan for the season finale. But if they put him on a cover, I may be right with it. For sure, we'll see something Walking Dead this week on some magazine cover. But either way, if they don't show him, we're 9 weeks away from seeing Negan on TV, so that's pretty exciting. Just 9 more weeks. So it'll go by quick once the weeks.
You got your prediction for Negan, right, on the cover of the show, of the magazine?
Yeah, on the cover of like Entertainment Weekly or any magazine. But if they don't show him, then 9 more weeks. So just wait.
Trying to think, is there any other shows that I've seen? Do you watch Bates Motel?
Yeah, I've seen season 1 and season 2. Just not season 3. Oh,
you need to catch up. Did you like it or no?
Yeah, I like it, but it's just one of those shows where, like, it's on Netflix, and I'm still like 2 episodes of season 2 left. It's not something I could really binge watch because I have other stuff to do. I'm trying to do other things, and Netflix is sort of my just side stuff. But I know, like, that and House of Cards is the 2 shows that I kind of watch one episode, and then 5 weeks later, I come back and watch another episode. It's just I can't continuously binge watch it. I just can't do it.
Oh, Bates Motel is awesome. I love it. I tried that House of Cards. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's slow. But.
I mean, that first episode was. I was about ready to take some fucking uppers to get me going to watch the episode. Yeah, but it hit me with a fucking adrenaline shot to get me going. I couldn't get into it. I was like, man, this is boring. I mean, I guess you have to be into politics. I'm not a politics person. But Bates Motel, I grew up on Psycho, and I love the kid that plays in Bates Motel. He does a fantastic job, and the mother makes the show, too. Like, the mother is such a good actress. Well, she's in The Conjuring, too. She's just fantastic. She I would say makes the show, but they picked the perfect Norman Bates. I mean, I just love the show. I love the what they did with the show, how the whole town's corrupted. I just really love that show. But that's airing, I believe, in Bates Motel, I think, March, season 4.
And they already renewed it for a season 5.
Oh, because it's a huge show. I mean, I can understand everybody don't love everything. That's just how it is. But Bates Motel, I did not expect it to do that good. Like I thought, I saw the teaser for it. It's not much of a trailer that they show,
right?
But it will be. I think. I can't believe they already renewed season 5. That's crazy. Usually it takes to like half the season for them to do that.
Yeah.
But I love the person that plays the mother. She's in, The Conjuring. Verma Farmiga, I believe her name is, and Freddie Highmore as Norman Bates. His brother Max Thorett, he does a good job as Dylan. I love this show. If you ever catch up on it, or if I can get somebody that, whenever somebody joins us on this, if they know about Bates Motel, I can go all in on that show. Other than that, anything else you got, Daniel?
Trying to think. Shades of Blue got renewed for season 2. You hear about that? Yeah,
I love it. Did you start watching that show?
Not yet. I know there's an NBC app where I could catch up on it.
Mm-hmm.
What are we, like 5 weeks in already, or 4 weeks?
Not really, not that far in. Maybe 4 weeks. It's a good show. It's a show you could definitely get right into. It's like, It's not a hard, complicated show to understand. Like, I think you would like it. It's a brief rundown of it. Basically, it's about a woman that's, she's involved with a lot of crooked cops. They have a unit of different police of the same unit. They're corrupted. And basically she ends up getting I would say narked out. Not narked out, but basically she gets busted they're going after her to get to the main dude, and they use her as an informant, and that's all basically going on now. And they're just crooked cops, and the FBI's onto them. And it's a good show. Ray Loretta, fantastic actor. My only complaint with this show, one of my subscribers said, that I was doing a live stream. They made him a queer in it. I don't know why they did that. I'm not against gay people or anything, but there was no reason to make him, gay in it. There was no reason for that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know why they push that shit on people. I'm not saying I'm against it or anything. That's people's, they can do whatever they want. That's their thing.
Right.
But, don't push it on people, why does it have to be so pushed on people all the time?
Right.
That's just my thoughts. But that's what they did. They made him gay in it, and that's my only complaint with the show. Other than that, I think the show's excellent.
Yeah. Oh, it looks good. It looks good.
Mm-hmm. Anything else, or any movies that you've seen lately? Did you get to see any movies? I know you usually see a bunch of movies.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. The last week I saw. What did I see? Okay, yeah. Jane Got a Gun with Natalie Portman. Very underrated Western movie. It only went to certain theaters, really. Or it went to actually every theater, but, it didn't do well at all. It's kind of sad that, Natalie Portman. Well, I'm not a big fan of Natalie Portman, but still you think, she's headlining a movie, people would go see it, and they don't go see it because it's Natalie Portman, She used to be big at a time, and now she's just sort of there. But it was good for what it was, a rental movie. So it was interesting. I had that good Western Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid feeling on some of the scenes. And then a few days ago I saw Kung Fu Panda 3.
Oh, is that pretty good?
I thought it was good. 8.1 out of 10. I enjoyed myself during it. I was in a room full of kids. I saw it on a Wednesday at 2:00, so of course all the kids are at school and all that. So there was one 60-year-old guy down at the bottom, and he left halfway through the movie. And then there's just one father and one kid in the back. So I was no kids. There was no sneezing or nothing. No annoying stuff. I was just watching the movie, and it was pretty fun. I never saw Kung Fu Panda 2. I only saw the first one, but I like these movies. The animation is so well done. So Kung Fu Panda 8.1 out of 10. Kung Fu Panda 3. And then today I saw, which I'm going to see Pride and Prejudice and Zombies tomorrow.
Oh, that looks good.
The Choice on Tuesday. Yeah, but that one looks, but that failed at the box office. The Pride, Prejudice.
I figured it would. It just doesn't look like, I don't know. It just seems like one of them spoof movies. Like, not a spoof, but basically something like, it reminds me of like Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Slayer, like, you know, or Vampire Hunter. But it looks good. I don't know. Something about that movie looks good. Yeah,
it's interesting. And today I saw Hell Caesar, which is a Coen Brothers movie with Josh Brolin, Scarlett Johansson, Channing Tatum, Jonah Hill.
That one? How was that?
It was good. I mean, I still haven't really wrote my review yet. It's kind of hard to think about it. George Clooney's storyline really wasn't, which was like the main storyline in there. Like his character in the trailer, he gets kidnapped and everything, and all this stuff. It ended up being really stupid how they did it, and Channing Tatum's character as well. Like there's a big twist in there, and it has something to do with Russian KGB stuff. It's stupid, but Josh Brolin stole the show. Honestly, it has that, you know, their movie studio, and you know you're on stage, sound stages, and they're making movies, and it's behind the movie business and all that stuff about Hell Caesar and them. If you like all that, like movie, like I do, I like movie sets, and you know, everyone thinks like once you say cut, like after making a scene, you know, the actors are not the nicest people and everything. They go back to being themselves. It's a very interesting take, and the Coen Brothers are awesome. I mean, they did The Big Lebowski, they did Fargo, No Country for Old Men. I mean, they're fantastic writers. But I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna give it a 7 point something. I think it was just okay. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, it's still more of a rental, but still, Josh Brolin stole the show for sure.
Okay. My problem with two of those actors you mentioned, George Clooney and Channing Tatum, I can't get into either one of them. Now, George Clooney had some good movies like Dusk Till Dawn, The Perfect Storm. You know, I like those movies, but other than that, I can't get into George Clooney. It's not he's a bad actor. It's just something about him. I just can't get into him. Channing Tatum, he's like one of them actors, like I could take him or leave him. You know, George Clooney's a way better actor, but I'm just saying, like, it's not, I'm saying George Clooney's bad or anything. It's just I can't get into him. Channing Tatum, I just can't, you know, he always plays the same role all the time, you know. But I had a feeling that movie wasn't going to be, I don't know. But it wasn't, you said it wasn't good.
It was okay. It's watchable, but it's more of a rental. You know, it's there. It's not the best movie, but it's not like I regret watching it. I'm happy I saw it. But it's more of a one and done. Like I don't really plan on seeing this anytime in my life later on.
No drugs required to watch the movie.
No.
But yeah, one thing I got to catch up on. I guess I'll take his comments and that'll be it. Heavy-handed gamer has a lot of comments for us. Sorry, man. I just noticed them. I kind of wasn't looking at the chat for a second. Okay, he says it's going. This is going to be the first time I seen your show all about movies. Okay, we got that. Have you guys read comics for The Walking Dead? Daniel, have you read comics for The Walking Dead?
Yes. I have the kind of like compendium #1. Like I have, like, it's a whole huge book, and it has like issue 1 through 60 or something. It's a huge ass book. And it was like, I don't know, $50. Something like that.
I want to get that. I know what you're talking about.
It was, I read it right away. I think I was like sick that weekend. It was my birthday and I bought it. And I just read through it all, like reading in. I already knew what was happening because it was already past The Governor season 3. Because it only, like, the book only goes up from the beginning to like when the governor is going to attack the prison, and that's about it. That's all it goes up to. But yeah, I read it. I would say I'm surprised I haven't caught up with the other Walking Dead comics.
Now does it follow the? I only read the first comic. That's it.
Right.
The comic I read was the first comic, and it actually had like the original idea of The Walking Dead, what they had wrote out for, a comic. It was different art style and everything, but that's the only one I read was the first one. Now, going by the first one, I guess it looks like they follow it closely from the first, kinda. Would you say what you read is very close to the show, or is it different? I know they changed some things up, but is it somewhat accurate?
Yeah, most of it's accurate. I haven't read it in about a year, but from what I remember, it's like but they switch it around. Like, some of the character deaths, or like they went to a community and like issue 30, and they didn't go until season 4. So I mean, they switch it around, but they do end up making it as close as possible without, like, they switch character deaths and all that.
Oh, okay. And then Heavy Handed Gamer said, since Negan is coming this season, will be bad for all the main characters. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I heard it. I heard there's a good chance we might lose Glenn or Daryl. That's who people are betting on. I would say it's Glenn before Daryl, but that's just me.
Right.
What would you say, Daniel?
I want it to be Daryl. I would say so. And I love Norman Reedus, but I'm not like one of those, like, if Daryl dies, we riot. Like, Daryl, and even Norman Reedus said this 8 episodes, we're going to get a lot more Daryl. So if they're going to put more Daryl in there, it would make sense. They show him so much, and then they kill him at the end of the season. I mean, they could kill Carl. They could kill Carol. I mean, I don't want them to kill Carol, but they could kill anyone. Morgan. It wouldn't matter as long as Negan. It makes it effective to us and makes us cry or makes us hate Negan. If that makes us hate Negan more, that's a good thing, because we want to hate Negan. We love him to hate him and that sort of thing. So you want him to kill a lovable character. That way people could be pissed off at him, and next season will even be high tension. That's what I want. So I would say Daryl, to kill Daryl, because Glenn's already been dead this season without being dead. So they ain't gonna do it again unless they kill Maggie and switch it up.
All right, and he said also, I like Daniel's X-Files posters.
Oh, thank you.
He says, have you guys seen that Todd McFarlane is writing the next Spawn movie script? No, I didn't see that, and that's awesome. Spawn's getting a movie. Did you hear that, Daniel?
No, I heard about it, but I don't know much about Spawn. I saw like the original movie. Didn't they do a movie a long time ago? Yeah, okay then. I heard about it, what they're doing.
And then HD Gamers 2015 says, Dave, sub to me. I got 11,000 subs. Okay, man, I'll sub you. Lately I'm getting people on my streams and, sometimes podcasts asking me to sub to them. I say this to everybody. Don't take this in offense or anything, but if I don't like your content, it's like if I ask somebody to sub to me, let's see if you're on the same level as I am with this, Daniel. Like, say somebody comes to your stream and says, hey, sub to me. What's that? What would you do? I'm just saying what's your whole outlook on that?
Well, usually, like, if it's a live stream or if someone comments and says, hey, look at my channel, like, subscribe to me, either I just am lazy and I don't even click on it. I usually just don't click on it because I'm lazy sometimes. But if they do have great content, like, then maybe. But I really don't like when people go and say, like, subscribe to me sort of thing. They're just kind of, begging to subscribe. And I mean, I get it, self-advertisement and all that. Yeah, you have to do that at some point. But going to other people's channel and just like, hey, subscribe to me, instead of just.
Well, where I'm at it with, and I just subscribed to your channel, man. Don't think I wasn't going to or anything. I'm not like that. I subscribe, but I'm just trying to give advice. Like, with people like that come to the channel and say, like, I got one this morning, Rapid Retro, or yesterday was Rapid Retro, and I got another guy this morning. And you're the third guy. When somebody asks you to subscribe to their channel, majority of the time when somebody subscribes to a channel, they subscribe to that channel because they want to. because they found your content interesting. Now, you have Call of Duty stuff, so that's fine. I'll find that interesting. But the majority of the time, people are not going to keep watching your stuff unless they're interested. Just because you have a subscriber doesn't mean I want views more than subscribers. Yes, I like having subscribers, but I want people actually watching my content. That's my big thing. I want to see, like with My American Horror Story, for my little channel, it has 671 subscribers. I like seeing 400 views on my American Crime Story video, because that knows that at least it's getting out to most of my subscribers. I like like my movie review I did with the one movie with Emily Exorcism, or one of the recent horror movies I did. I don't know why I can't say that. It got 3,000 views. That I was like, wow, it's almost at 4,000 views. That's great, but I like that. That's where I want subscribers. It's cool, but most of the time when people subscribe, if they don't like your content, they're never going to watch again, and then they become a ghost sub. You know what I'm saying? That's just my point of view on it, you know. But I did subscribe. I'm always a nice guy, and I'll subscribe to people's channels. I believe in helping people. That's what I like to do, especially smaller channels and even people that are cool with me. But yeah, I subscribe to your channel. Let me see. I lost the chat now. Damn it. Where is the chat? We got 2 more comments or 3 more comments, and then we're gonna shut this down. I know we went really long, but I had fun tonight. With the podcast. It was actually interesting. Other than here and there, a couple technical difficulties. Let's see. Heavy-handed gamer said asking for people to sub you out of nowhere is dumb. Okay, so I don't think it's like dumb. Well, that's a mean. It's not a mean. Well, it is. I didn't say it like that, but you know, well, you're saying it in your opinion, but I just don't. If somebody subs to you and they don't want to watch your content, what's the point of them subbing? You know what I'm saying? If they don't like, they subscribe to somebody because they like to subscribe to somebody. A lot is changed, he says. Well, Daryl isn't a character from the comic book. Oh, okay. Daryl's not. And I didn't know that. I thought Daryl was a character from the comic book. Heavy-handed gamer says, I'm sub to you, but I won't never ask for a sub back because that's out of desperation and weak in my opinion. Activity in the comments is better to me than anything. No, and I don't mind subscribing to you. I'm just saying, like, most people that go around and ask that, man, it's just, to me, it's just, you know, unless they like your content, they're never going to watch your shit again. You know what I'm saying? They sub to you for a reason. That's just the main point. But I subscribed, buddy. Both your channels seem like shit that I would check out, you know, but I'm just saying, a majority of the time, like, I see people going around and asking people that would have nothing to do with their content, you know, or, you know, and I just, you know what I'm saying? But basically, this podcast went on way too long. I'm starting to get tired. Daniel, thank you for joining as always.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Daniel's channel is in the description. Check Daniel out. And I put the people, too, that created the name of this podcast, Kenoshi. He's in the bottom tube. Daniel's the top one. Check out his channel. Links in the description. And I appreciate Heavy-Handed Gamer for checking out the podcast. Thank you, man. I really do appreciate it. I'm trying to hold on. I'm getting back to the chat. Hold on. Heavy-Handed Gamer. Loading up. Let's see. Heavy-Handed Gamer, HD Gamers 2015. Thank you for checking out the podcast. Also, Sinclair on Air. Thank you for checking out the podcast. Also, Rapid Retro. Shout out to you, buddy. Tigerman666, shout out to you too, buddy. And Tigerman, I think I said 666 also. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for watching. We will be on next. I think we're going to do it Sundays from now on. Sunday's a good day. Yeah. See you next Sunday. Later, guys.